What a great scrap for the ball we've seen in the first half of the semi-final. The Tall Blacks in Yugoslavia. Dylan Boucher right in there, as you would expect. New Zealand takes a 9-point lead into the second half. How about this? Kirk Penny down, up, in and down again. Absolutely brilliant stuff. The dream is still well and truly alive. The passion, the intensity. This is fantastic basketball. The Tall Blacks taking it to Yugoslavia, the defending world champions, in case you needed reminding. The Tall Blacks out to, at one point, a 14-point lead, now leading by 9. The winner of this game plays Argentina in the final. Chris Tupu and Tracy Carpenter are with me and barely able to control themselves. Chris, the Tall Blacks playing smart once again.
Really smart. You can see they're mixing the defence up. I think on a made basket, they're going back into a zone defence where they mark an area rather than a man, and then when they miss, they're going into a man-to-man defence. And the Yugoslavians are having all kinds of trouble against them.
Tracy, we saw an example of that just before half-time, where there was plenty of space and the pass went off instead of the shot.
Yeah, the Yugoslavs are befuddled. 4 for 16 shooting in the first quarter. The Kiwis have done great, and they're playing great offense. They're just playing such superb basketball. It's just great to watch, and we hope that we can keep it up here.
Don't we just? Kirk Penny right on his game.
Unbelievable. Kirk has such great body balance, quick drives to the basket. He can stop and pop. He's so multi-skilled. Kirk is a future NBA player.
And Chris, Pero Cameron, is there anything he can't do?
Well, again, we've talked about Pero making the big plays when it's needed, you know, hitting the passes to the right people at the right time, and we just continue to see smart play from not just Pero, but all of the players in the New Zealand team. I think one of the things that I'm really impressed at is that, you know, there's hardly ever a forced shot or somebody doing something that they're not capable of doing. Within Tab's framework, all of the players are doing exactly what they are good at doing.
Well, let's pick up that point with Tracy in your coaching experience. I mean, Tab puts his players on and tells them to play to their strengths.
Exactly. You go to your strengths and you stay away from your weaknesses, and that's exactly what the Tall Blacks have done. It's just beautiful basketball.
Now, Yugoslavia, they haven't figured out the zone. What are they going to be talking about at halftime? What are they talking about right now?
Well, they've got to make some adjustments. They've got to figure it out, or they're going to lose. And their ball movement, they're stagnant. Their spacing seems to be off. Maybe they can run a player to the corner underneath a screen, but they've got to come up with an answer and in a hurry.
All right, well, still in our commentary position in Indianapolis is one sport expert analyst, Jeff Green. Jeff, it is a joy to watch.
Yes, I've got to say, Jeff, it's, you know, this is a magical job. Whoever gave me this, I'll have to buy dinner, because you just can't believe the atmosphere here. And, you know, the Kiwis, they just keep taking us on this coaster ride of emotion. It's up and down, it's in and around, and it's just pure magic. And, you know, we still believe, Jeff. We still believe here in Indianapolis, and I just imagine what the crowd are doing. You know, people are back home on a Sunday morning. Just, it's just unbelievable. I can't describe it. It's unbelievable.
Well, I can assure you, Jeff, that we still believe back in New Zealand as well, and we are following this roller coaster ride that the Tall Blacks are taking us on, following the passion of it. It's just great. Tell us about what you think will happen in the second half. What do you think Tab Baldwin's telling the team right now?
Well, I think Tab is saying, look, we got this lead by doing exactly what we've done all tournament long. You know, we've been patient. You know, we've controlled our defensive boards, and when we've done that, we've been in ball games. And, you know, he said, he'll be saying, let's keep with this tenacious defense. Let's not get the Yugoslavs in there. Let's not take the flip-flops that they're well known for. And he'll say that offensively, we just got to keep shooting the ball. We're shooting a great high percentage right now, and, you know, we can't get tentative. And he'll be saying, look, the dream is still on. You guys are up against the world champions at halftime. This is your game to lose and Yugoslavia's to win.
It's 48-39 at the half-time break, Jeff. Again, we've seen, as we've seen through the whole tournament, this control from the Tall Blacks and this patience as they work away in offense, and it's just spreading through the whole game. It's just fantastic to watch.
Yeah, and the international media have picked up on how patient the Kiwis are. And Bob said it in the commentary, you know, the Yugoslavs like to get out and run and get out there and pull up for the big three-pointers. And the Kiwis have taken them totally away from their game. totally away from what they used to, and I think it's mesmerised the Yugoslavs. It's like they've put them into a trance. You know, the Yugoslavs are into a bit of a sleep pattern here because they're not used to playing this type of slow-down basketball.
Jeff, you talk about the Yugoslavs being mesmerised. I mean, when you think about the experience in that Yugoslav side, there are 5 NBA players there. Why is it they cannot work out what it is Tab Baldwin's trying to do?
Well, I think every international coach, Jeff, at this tournament has been trying to work out what Tab Baldwin, Sherpa Tenzing and the Tall Blacks have been trying to do, and the Yugoslavs haven't worked it out for a whole half. It took the great USA team to a whole half to work it out. It's just they just haven't seen pure basketball like this. Like, a lot of the teams play on the NBA stars, and Yugoslavia are no different. You know, people they look for the flair, they look for the guys going to the basket, shooting the big threes and playing on emotion. They just haven't seen this type of basketball from New Zealand, where it's, you know, it's just nice, basic basketball, and that really is the key. And let me make a prediction, Jeff. I think that the Yugoslavs won't work this out, and I think if the Kiwis get on top in the third quarter, I think you'll find that the Yugoslavs mentally will start to lose it.
And Jeff, every single basketball fan in this country will be hoping that you are right. Thanks very much for that. We'll be back with you and Bob in just a moment. Half-time in this second semi-final at the World Basketball Championships. New Zealand ahead, 48-39 over Yugoslavia. The second half coming next. Kirk Penny, absolutely brilliant, and in fact we've just been chatting while the break was on about Kirk Penny, so let's explore that point. We've just seen him there. He is looking so sharp. Yeah, I mean, just clinical. You know, he's going up against Peja Stojakovic, one of the stars in the NBA, but hey, who cares? We're looking at Penny just taking him to the rack and doing really quick moves and finishing off with some great shooting. Tracy, it's the speed of the movement. He's able to move quickly but stop on a dime.
Kirk Penny loves to practice, and that's why he's so good. He's so dedicated, so disciplined, and you're looking at the end result of that.
Are we looking at the best basketball New Zealand's played in this tournament today?
I totally believe so. I mean, this is just an unbelievable half. They're sharp offensively, great outside shooting, great feel, spacing, understanding of the game, and then defensively, they've taken Divac out of the game totally. 7'1", one of the top players in the world. So he's on the bench, and the zone and the changing defenses has just befuddled the Yugoslavs.
Now, I mentioned the zone when I was chatting to Jeff Green. I want to get your thoughts on it too, you guys. Why is it the Yugoslavs, and they're NBA players, they have plenty of experience, it's a zone defense, why can't they work it out?
One of the things I don't think the Yugoslavian team's doing is getting the ball down to the corners, and that really flattens the zone defense out and creates more openings. They're sort of just running the ball around the top, and sure, they've got some three-point shots out of it, but, you know, they really haven't done much against the zone. And the other thing that is good for the zone for us is that our big guys are in rebounding positions. So we're seeing the Yugoslavians getting one shot, and we're getting the rebounds.
Which is why Pero doesn't stray far.
Exactly. It neutralizes big players on an opposing team. And the one thing is the zone isn't used very much at the international level. So, you know, there's some risk playing it with the great shooters from the other team. But so far, so good. I mean, I'm sure they're going to stay with it.
The Tab's prepared to take the risks as well. I mean, in the way he plays to the player's strengths, there's little margin for error in that practice.
Exactly. The Kiwis have a small margin of error, but are making the most of it. And again, it goes back to understanding and believing in what they have to do. They've just played brilliantly.
And more of the same, obviously, in the second half. You think that's the message Tab will be giving the team?
Yeah, I mean, keep it up. More of the same.
Go on, Chris.
I think that maybe we may see a little bit of a half-court trap, maybe some other zone type of defences where we mark an area rather than a man, but move it out a little bit more and maybe force them into a three-quarter of a sort of a trap. So I think Tab may have that up his sleeve and some more of that zone defence.
I think what we've seen through this tournament is Tab's prepared to mix it up, isn't he?
He sure is. You know, we've gone to the press when we needed to, and we've really kept teams off balance. And I agree. I think you could see a little bit of press, change some things up, and again, we've got to keep out of foul trouble also, because the odds are that we probably won't shoot as high a percentage from the three-point line as we did in the first half.
As far as Yugoslavia is concerned, they've got a very long bench. That is a concern.
Yes, it is. I mean, great players, and you know, they'll have different people step up. Jaric is their leading scorer now. He stepped up and played well in the absence of Divac, and Stojakovic probably hasn't fired quite as much as they want him to.
Okay, there we have the first half stats, and the Yugoslavians just ahead on the boards, 20-15. What do you make of those figures, Chris?
Some great. Look at New Zealand's field goal percentage. From the field, we're shooting 56%. Outstanding. You know, we saw Ed Book get off to a great start there. 2 big three-pointers, then Kirk hit one, Pero hit one. So 6 for 14 is not too bad. You know, the Yugoslavians not far behind there from the three-pointer line. Most of them coming from their guard, Marko Jakic.
Steals, plenty of pressure going on.
Yeah, defensively, we don't have to worry. The Kiwis are going to go 100%, and they're going to swarm. Sparky Dickel's going to be all over the place. Boucher's going to be in helping at the post, and every shot that goes up, we're going to be battling on the board. So not a worry defensively. Offensively, can we keep up the great shooting, especially from the three-point line?
When you look at the three-point line figures there for Yugoslavia, almost 50%, or in fact just over 50%, as we now go to the top plays from the first half of this semi-final and go back to our commentators in Indianapolis. That's Bob Montai and Jeff Green.
Thanks, guys. And Kirk Penny, you see him here, a little montage. He makes the first, and Pero Cameron lights it up with another 3. New Zealand have shot 6 three-pointers. So, too, has Yugoslavia in the first half. But really the big story is the Kiwis are shooting almost 56% from the floor versus 37% for the Yugoslavs. Now, that's a reversal. In the beginning, I said New Zealand didn't lead Yugoslavia in any category. Well, in 3 or 4 very critical ones in the first half, they are leading this game. Now, one thing I've got my eye on is the foul count. Yugoslavia have committed 16 fouls, the Kiwis 12. No player is on 3 fouls, so really no individual in foul trouble. But believe me, when the whistles start blowing in the second half and some of the Yugoslav big men get called for that 3rd foul, the scowls are going to grow even more pronounced on their faces. Now, talking about that zone defense, Tracy Carpenter was saying, well, a zone is a kind of a risky defense. Yes, it is, but to beat a zone, you actually have to knock the ball down. You got to put it in the hole, and it's a dare, really. New Zealand comes out in a zone, and they're saying to Yugoslavia, okay, here's an easy way to beat it. Shoot well from outside, and Yugoslavia didn't. They shot 37%. They were not up to the dare, and believe me, Tap Baldwin will continue with the zone at various times until Yugoslavia proves they can knock it down. Leading scorers there, you see Cameron and Penny both on 13, and assisted by the other players. Jaric, 14 for Yugoslavia, and one of the big stories for them has to be Stojakovic has only got 7 points. He's their leading scorer. He was carrying almost a 20-point per game average throughout the tournament, and he certainly had enough shots. He's put up 10 field goal attempts. He's scored on only 3 of them. 1 from the three-point line. That's 13 shots. He scored on 4. Don't expect him to be that cold in the second half, but hey, we've got a ball game on our hands, and the dream continues. Get ready, New Zealand. We've got 20 minutes of basketball to play.
Well, I'll tell you what, Bob Montai, the Yugoslavs are throwing the dice here. They've decided to start 4 of their 5 NBA players, and that's just unheard of. They haven't done that this tournament so far, and of course Marko Jaric has got himself a starting spot after those 4 three-pointers that he nailed in the first half. So this is a bit of a gamble.
Well, this is a desperate time. The dinar is depreciating as we sit here. The Yugoslavs find themselves down by 9. They've got to do something, Jeff, and it's probably a very good move. Puts the pressure on the Tall Blacks to counteract the height. Gorovic takes it down Bloody Nose Lane, uncontested to score the first 2 of the 3rd period. Penny, who had such a great first half, brings it over halfway. Oh, no, referee. Ed Book is going to be called for an elbow to the chin.
Miyazaki took that from the best actor in the world in world basketball, and that's his third foul. And let's hope we see this, because that's just a straight flip-flop from Vlade Divac. Oh, nothing in that, just a little bit of skin.
That's a big call. That's one of those important calls. It puts 3 fouls on Ed Book. Stojanovic, he misses again. That's 4 shots made from 14 attempts in the game so far. If he continues like that, Yugoslavia are going to be in big problems. Now Divac out there manhandling Pero Cameron. He's going to get called for a foul if he's not careful. Pero throws the ball out of bounds, and it's all Yugoslavia in the opening minute here.
But this is one of those runs that I was talking about. You know, if New Zealand can sustain the pressure, watch for the ebbs and flows, and this is a run. If we can handle this run and get back into the game, we'll be right, Bob.
Here they come, with the ball stolen by New Zealand. Sparky Dickel, foot race, takes it to the hole and knocks it down. A beautiful little controlled layup. Finger roll.
And there you go. It's taken the air out of the Yugoslavs. One good defensive play here, and the ball game is back to us.
Well, and Yugoslavia have to come up and once again try to figure out what to do against this. Divac makes an NBA move. He just puts the ball to the hoop and barrels his way to the basket. Scores a nice 2, and it's a 50-43 lead.
Oh, and there's
Jeric.
That's his, what's that? That's his third. That's his third foul. And of course, Sparky Dickel, too quick for him. Vlade Divac there, straight to the basket. An easy 2 for the big man from the Sacramento Kings.
Neither team backing down here. Great basketball being played in patches by both teams. You can see the tension, the number of mistakes that are being made, but man, for basketball purists, you couldn't want anything better. Kirk Penny got caught in the alley and was mugged. Jeric misses a shot, and the putback doesn't go down, and Divac.
But that's what I was talking about, see? They missed the layup, but Yugoslavia had 2 attempts at the offensive tip-in, and that's where New Zealand have got to control the defensive board. Otherwise, it's going to be a long third quarter. Phil Jones with the 3. Beauty. Oh, and the Yugoslavs are smashing things on their bench. They are not happy. The Reefton kid answers and takes the air out of the balloon yet again.
Jeff, it's obvious the Yugoslavs have come out fired up. There were 3 of their big guys pounding down the court on that fast break, and they're going to go straight to the hole every time. They're going to overpower New Zealand if they can. That was Kotovic the last time up the floor, scoring 2.
And it's hard to see any of the action other than on the TV screen, Bob. The Yugoslav coaches are just all over the place.
I swear some of the coaches are getting into the act and playing some defense here. Phil Jones has to put the shot up. It doesn't drop, and the Yugoslavs throw the ball out of bounds.
Oh, and that was good play by Pero Cameron. He put that big body all over Vlade Divac.
And the referee comes over and helps us out by signaling to the Yugoslav bench that all the coaches and all the players have got to sit down. They won't stay there very long. They'll be up and down like yo-yos. 7 minutes left in the third period. New Zealand lead by 6. It's 53-47.
This is the dreaded third quarter the Kiwis have encountered this whole tournament.
Kirk Penny straight to the hoop. It doesn't go down. Pero is going to be fouled by number 8, Stojanovic.
Stojakovic, he got tangled up with Big Pero, and that's his second. Stojakovic, they can't afford to have him going to the bench, and that's a good sight. We see Jeric going to the bench on his 2 fouls as well. So
Pero got his big mitts on that ball, and nothing was going to prise it out of his grasp. Inbound it goes. Penny comes off a pick, goes back baseline, gets it into Pero Cameron. Mismatch here. Pero goes baseline, and he's called for taking steps.
Oh, I don't know about that, but the Spanish referee was caught right behind the defense. Miyazaki was right there, and the Spanish referee came up with that call.
Well, there's a good reason to have 3 referees, as would normally be the case in a FIBA match. We've talked enough about that. Divac. Gurovic from the corner. It doesn't go down, and Pero gets a rebound once again. Phil Jones. Brings it up quickly. He spots a little gap on the baseline. Kicks it back out. Pero with the 3. On the ring, around in. Beautiful.
Oh, Pero Cameron, he got a bit of love from the ring, a bit of love, and it knocks it down the big 3. And we've been able to stem that tide, Bob.
That friendly little Taniwha again, Jeff.
And that's the same ring that Taniwha was on
That's right.
for Yugoslavia. So he's been able to help the boy from the Napoli land.
Yugoslavia getting coupled 2-3 shots here. Stojakovic knocks down a big 3.
And he's a big game player, a big game player. We saw that in the NBA Finals against the Los Angeles Lakers that he can play. So
now Yugoslavia coming up, trying to put a little man-to-man pressure on the Tall Blacks, and Pero just gets his big body in the way and clears out the defensive player for Pero Cameron. Oh no, they're giving the ball over to Yugoslavia. I guess it came off Pero Cameron. Couldn't see quite clearly because once again, the Yugoslav bench are on their feet directly in front of us. Yugoslavia on an 8-11 run here. There's Pesic.
Gorovic, he goes to the bench.
The coach, Gorovic, is subbed off. And the crowd on their feet. Red, white, and blue striped flags waving everywhere in Conseco Fieldhouse. Down the lane, Divac, nice move to the hoop, and he gets a big 2, and it's a 56-52 ball game. Sparky Dickel quickly over halfway. Goes to the hoop, knocks it back outside, but in the meantime, he draws a foul against Vujanic.
And that's a good move, and there we see on the replay, big Vlade Divac. But that's 3 fouls. And of course, Sparky Dickel showing that pace again and be able to get to the free throw line, well, get to the lane and then draw the foul on the Yugoslavs.
A good shot of our 2 computers there going over the stats and what to do next. The 2 coaches. Ed Book knocks it out to Pero Cameron. There's 18 seconds on the shot clock. A lot of noise, but plenty of time. Now Ed has the ball stolen by the Yugoslavs. It's a 3-on-2 fast break, and Pero Cameron once again back down there defending that hoop for honor and country.
It certainly was, and it was a great defensive move by Pero. He knew that the ball was going to go to that wing. He called for his defense to help him at the back.
Bodiroga gets a nice pass back from Divac, and here's the terrible third quarter we've all not wanted to talk about, as suddenly Yugoslavia has sliced into the lead here. It's a 2-point margin to New Zealand. 56-54, and the noise is deafening.
You can't hear yourself, Bob. It's just absolutely Pero Cameron for the big 3.
The shot doesn't drop, and Yugoslavia will get the ball out of bounds. We're going to have real problems down the stretch here if the Yugoslav bench keeps popping up like they have. Yugoslavia on a 15-8 run, Jeff.
But see, that's okay from my point of view, Bob, because normally we're seeing those 9-0 runs, those 12-0 runs. We've got 8 points in that 15-8 run there for the Yugoslavs. We still have a 2-point lead. There's still 4 minutes to go in this dreaded third quarter. As long as the Kiwis can keep their mental capacities, their minds set on what we need to do, there's no problem. I said it before. This is going to be a game of ebbs and flows, ups and downs. And all the Yugoslavs are doing is making a run. We had enough of a cushion. We've been able to see this run out. Tad's taken the air out of the Yugoslav balloon by calling a timeout. But now Yugoslavia had to come in a bit more, drained mentally, and now they're down on themselves. So, this is a good move. I believe that, we've still got the cushion. Albeit a 2-point cushion, we've still got it.
Well, that's right, Jeff. A timeout is as much sometimes to cool off another team as it is to give your own team instructions. And I think in this case, it's a bit of both. Tab, they've got to make a few defensive alterations here, but also he's got to get his players to cope better with the intensity. The Yugoslavs have come out at halftime, and the defensive pressure has gone up about 3 notches. They're really in the faces of the Tall Blacks now, and the pressure's shown. The Tall Blacks have given away the ball 2 or 3 times, a little uncharacteristic for them in this game. But hey, there's a long way to go, and we've still got a 2-point lead. Let's see what happens at the end of this timeout. The chess match continues in Conseco Fieldhouse. 4:36 left to play in the third period. New Zealand leading, probably in many people's estimations against their expectations, by 2. You see the shot, the 3 from Stojakovic, and there's big Vlade Divac showing the ability to take the ball down the lane and score up a nice layup. And that's led to the 15-8 run on the part of the Yugoslavs over the Tall Blacks. But we're ready to go again. Fire up, New Zealand. Let's hear some noise.
We believe, Bob. We still do believe. And those Kiwis in the crowd there, they're doing the haka led by Brendan Pongia yet again. They still believe.
Of course we do. This is vintage basketball. It's just a joy to watch. 2 great teams, 2 well-coached teams, loaded with talent, going toe-to-toe. New Zealand has led for most of the game. They still lead now by 2 points. Sticking with the zone. The dare is still there.
Yeah, they've gone back to the
Yugoslavia
3-2 zone to be able to stop that outside shooting and maybe stop the 3-point attempts. As we say that, they throw up one and make it.
Vujanic makes it. And the bench erupts again as Yugoslavia take a 57-56 lead. New Zealand can't panic now. Phil Jones to the baseline. Carol Cameron comes up at point guard. He goes down the lane and he draws a foul. And I think it's tall number 5, if I'm correct, Katurovic. And that's going to be 2 fouls on him.
Here we go. The 3-2 zone collapsed and left the shooter open. Phil got trapped behind his offensive man and wasn't able to recover. Then big Pero Cameron takes it against 3 Yugoslavs to get that foul.
And Yugoslavia rotating their big man as Tomasevic replaces Katurovic. That's good. We've got another foul on them. That's their 4th team foul. 4th team foul against Yugoslavia. And Phil Jones gets a runaway. Not a runaway, but a penetrating 2.
And that's an easy 2. And, of course, New Zealand go back into the lead by 1. Once again, taking the air out of the Yugoslav balloon.
From the corner, Stojakovic can't get up the shot. That's good defense from the Tall Blacks. There's 7 seconds on the shot clock. Bodiroga kicks it out to the man with the hot hand, Vujanic. Oh, Vujanic, and he makes his 2nd 3-pointer in a row.
The toast of Yugoslavia at the moment, Vujanic.
Ed Book, the shot hangs on the ring. Finally falls off into Yugoslavia's hands. Vujanic, a hot hand now, dribbles high, and Sparky Dickel follows him out. The Tall Blacks have gone back to a man-to-man. Switching defenses virtually every time up and down the court.
He missed it. He missed one. Vujanic missed one.
That's a good sign. Dickel almost leaves the ball behind. Nobody under the basket. New Zealanders forcing the Yugoslavs to come high and play defense. They'd love to get a cut from one of their forwards. Over the back call
was over the back. Yep. But the good thing, though, there, Bob, was the fact that we had people on the offensive board. We're not just relying on shots to go down. We're going to hustle up, get on the offensive glass, try and get another opportunity for the Tall Blacks.
Well, that's right, Jeff. We're contesting everything. New Zealand have scored only 10 points this quarter. It's been their nemesis throughout the tournament. And it continues to be 2:35 left in the third period. Stojakovic, baseline, pushes off, fade away, doesn't go down, and Divac is hammered by Ed Book.
But that's a good foul by Ed Book, because that's only 2 team fouls for the Kiwis. The Yugoslavs are already in the bonus. We don't want to give up an easy basket. That's gone to 3 team fouls. The scoreboard just put it up. But that's a good foul, Ed Book.
Ed Book picks up foul number 4, and the rotations continue as Robert Hickey, number 15, replaces him. And into the game for Yugoslavia will come number 5, Katurovic. He was off for less than a minute. Tomasevic replaced him. He'll come on for Divac, I'm sure. Divac looks a little bit tired. Again, both coaches rotating personnel perfectly, Jeff.
Yeah, it's been a feature of these World Championships. You've got to be able to make sure you make the right choices with your personnel. And if you don't make the right choice, it's punished severely by the opposition.
Yugoslavia with their largest lead in the game at 62-58. New Zealand's ball, 2:23 left in the third period. This has been the nemesis, the bugbear, the disaster part in the game for the Kiwis all throughout the tournament. Dickel couldn't get up a shot, kicks it out to Pero Cameron. He puts up the three. It's off the glass, and an easy rebound goes Yugoslavia's way. We got a 23-10 margin in the third period to Yugoslavia, Jeff.
Yeah, and that's the dreaded third quarter, but you know, we're still only 4 down at this point in time. Make that 6. But we've got to stay close, because the fourth quarter, we can get this. We've shown that, Bob. It's just that dreaded third quarter has affected us. Once again, we've got a non-shooting team out there with only Phil Jones and Pero Cameron, the 2 recognised scorers.
6-point lead, 10 seconds on the shot clock. Cameron underneath, the ball goes out of bounds, and that doesn't reset the shot clock, so with 6 seconds.
And there's a timeout by Tab Baldwin, and there's Sean Marsh walking onto the court, telling his guys, look, we're still in this game. That was just a lovely basketball move.
Good, sensible play. So with 1:26 left in the third period, New Zealand takes a timeout. We've got a 64-58 turnaround lead here to the Yugoslavians. At halftime, New Zealand were sitting on a 9-point lead, and they've virtually been shut out in the third period.
It's a 15-point turnaround, Bob. The 9 that we had and the 6 that they're up now. And once again, I'll go back. It's ebbs and flows in this game. You know, we're just about a minute and 26 seconds away from the dreaded third that we've always encountered at these championships. We just need to stay tough. We need to get a good defensive stop. Come down, be patient, take the wind, take the air out of the basketball, bounce it as many times as we can so that we get a good looking shot off, and hopefully it goes in, and then we get back down the other end and play more defense. That's what the Kiwis have got to do, and that's what Tab's telling them.
And they're going against a team that have come out fired up in the second half. They've upped their intensity level. They're certainly more enthusiastic than they were in the first half. They played hard then, but they're playing with more confidence. They're playing like a professional team now. They're looking at the defense before they try something. They're picking it apart. And more importantly, they're knocking down a few of the shots that they missed in the first half. Remember, they shot 37%. Very uncharacteristic for them in the first half of the ball game.
It certainly is. And but, you know, we've got 6 seconds on the shot clock to make a good impression here. And then down the other end, we've got to make a good defensive stance, Bob. We don't want this to get away from us. And I think that, you know, the Yugoslavs have upped their defense just a little.
Toblak's inbounding the ball. Henry handles it. 5 seconds to get it in. They get it into Boucher. Boucher's triple teamed for a moment. Turns, puts up the shot. He had to. There were 2 seconds on the shot clock. Good decision, Dylan.
Now we've got to settle down and play some hard-nosed defense here. No three-pointers.
See, that was just good defense from Yugoslavia. They knew there was only 7 seconds on the shot clock, and they really put the pressure on the Toblaks. They forced an off-balance shot from Dylan Boucher. Bodiroga, nice little fake, puts it up. It falls short. Tomasevic, Kurtonovic it is. And the foul is going to be on Dylan Boucher. How do you call that? A man comes slashing in from the free throw line, knocks Boucher to the floor, and Dylan Boucher picks up the foul.
And look on the replay here. The shot goes up by... And look at where he came from. How the heck is that a foul on Dylan Boucher? I will not know. Get a grip of yourself, the Spanish referee.
Well, after that little outburst from your commentators, back to the game here, and Bujanic leading Yugoslavia here. Bodiroga now, he's reputedly Europe's best player. Underneath the foul, before the shot was taken, Phil Jones had to do something, Jeff. Kiwis in big trouble, 64-58.
Yeah, 2 things went wrong there. That's Phil Jones' third. He goes to the bench. Kirk Penny comes in, but there's two things went wrong. There you go. Stojakovic with a free look at the three-pointer, and then we didn't box out, and then Phil gave the big fella a push in the back. So that's the two things. We didn't stop the three-point shot, and we didn't box out the big guy on the offensive board. And the Kiwis have got to tidy this up. We've said it all game long. Control the defensive boards, we control the game. And we're not doing it right now, Bob. That's the ugliest free throw I've ever seen.
Put that back in the package. Rewrap that one. That was terrible. But that's good because the 2 points didn't count, and he's got to shoot two honest ones, and he honestly blew that one. He blew both of them. And somebody, a Yugoslav player, into the lane too quickly before the shot was taken. That was Kotorovic. And so that's a turnover. Even though the free throw was missed, we would have gotten it either way. Well, that's a mistake by the Yugoslavs. Perhaps a little too eager here.
A good basket here, Bob. We'll see the Kiwis close that gap before the end of the quarter.
The booing, the whistling continues, and Yugoslavia makes a steal. Henare goes down the court, reaches in, attempts to get the ball, so it's going to be a two-shot foul. Bodiroga was not allowed to go to the hole and make the easy two.
And there's the Yugoslavs that are just so dangerous out on the break. That's the type of game they want to play. You know, and they play it very well. They get out and they pull up for the jump shots in the corners and look for the big men cutting for the easy layups. And of course, you know, Paulie Henare was the only one back there for the Kiwis. He had no option. He had three white shirts bearing down on him.
Bodiroga makes the first, and mercifully for the Kiwis, there's 30.5 seconds left. Pensively, Tab Baldwin watches the last agonizing 30 minutes of this third period. The nemesis of the Tall Blacks as Bodiroga makes them both. It's an 8-point lead. We should get last shot here. Defensive intensity is immense from the Yugoslavs. 11 seconds on the shot clock, counting down. Kirk Penny desperately trying to get in to make that play inside. Dylan Boucher, reverse layup. It doesn't go down.
Just too much size in there for Dylan.
Stojanovic. Bodiroga throws it out. The ball is launched. Unfortunately, it doesn't go down. So at the end of 30 minutes of play, Yugoslavia has come back to lead New Zealand 66-58. And Jeff, the last basket New Zealand scored in that period was with almost 4 minutes to play. 3 minutes, 56 seconds, in fact.
Yeah, but I've got to say, Bob, I believe the Kiwis are still right in this game. We've got the best shot. We've taken the best shot the Yugoslavs have put on us. And, you know, we're only 8 down. We're in that magical 10 that we always talk about. And, you know, let's not count the Kiwis out yet, Bob. We still believe, you know, all we've got to do is come out and be more patient offensively. We've got to control our defensive board. That's where the Yugoslavs are beating us right now. They've been able to get in for those little tip-ins, be able to worry us and be able to get the ball back out to their shooters. So, you know, we tidy up the defensive boards and play a bit more hard-nosed defense in this last quarter. We know we can win this.
Absolutely. Don't forget, we were leading by 11 at the end of the first period. We can turn this around, but it's going to be an immense task. Don't leave your seats. This is great basketball. This is semifinal action.
We thought we might be able to hear, but with this noise going on, that we can't hear what Coach Tab Baldwin is telling the team.
Well, for a bit of light relief here, once again, one of the New Zealand shooting team wins the prizes in the between quarter breaks here. I think that makes it about 9-2. Kiwis over the rest.
We've won every competition going at the quarter breaks, Bob.
Okay, New Zealand were held to 10 points in that quarter. 48 points they finished on at halftime. They had 58 at the end of the third period. And really, we've run right into a brick wall here, one of those cold patches. But you've got to give the Yugoslavs credit. Their defensive intensity was about double what it was in the first half. And it was very, very difficult for New Zealand to find anybody loose and get those slashing drives to the hoop. And when the three-point shooting starts falling off, as it did for us, and they start shooting better, of course you're going to get a turnaround. Now let's just hope the disaster is over and we'll get back into the game. Bodiroga, he was one of the men that hurt us in that crucial third quarter, and there's the other one. Number 13, Milos Vujanic. He hit a couple of threes and a two-pointer, I believe. So here we go. We've got 10 minutes left in the second semifinal game. Who is going to be playing the first semifinalist, Argentina, tomorrow? Stick around and you will find out. The Tall Blacks take the floor.
New Zealand, whatever you do, don't leave your beds, don't leave your couches, don't leave your seats. The Kiwis are still in this game with 10 more minutes to go. Let's see if we can get that black magic working again.
Hickey goes up, controls the tip. Kirk Penny gets it straight to the hoop. No call. He was looking for a foul, a quick two-pointer. It didn't come. Bodiroga has to slow it up. Tall Blacks quickly back on defense. They know the job in front of them. The assault on Mount Everest into its final phase here. Bodiroga, he pulls it up short, but he gets his own rebound.
And that's what I talked about. We've got to control those defensive boards. We can't afford to let the Yugoslavs get easy offensive rebounds as he did just then.
Unfortunately, that gives them the possession. Another 24 seconds on the shot clock.
And
once
another
again,
offensive rebound for the Yugoslavs. Come on, Kiwis, knuckle down, get some defensive boards.
Well, the Kiwis are packing in the paint very tight. They don't want anybody in there, and the ball is bouncing out over their heads. It's a long rebound, as we call it. Juric takes steps.
Oh, that's the second one of the game.
That's it. First one went against us. This one went with us.
Marko Jerovic takes steps, and well, that was a lottery because everyone put their hands up and said there wasn't a foul on me. Surely, ref.
Now, and Stu Dennison corrects us. He says it was the third traveling call. Thanks, Stu. New Zealand. Now they've got to figure out the defense. Punishing man-to-man stuff coming from the Yugoslavs. And a foul is going to be against number 15. Milan Gurovic picks up a pushing foul. And this is the way the game sort of started. Lots of calls that interrupted play against the Yugoslavs in the first period. Right there. Oh, yes.
Oh. And that's a big push to push Pero Cameron to the floor.
Well, I hope they do it often and quickly, Jeff, because we've got to be in the shooting, the bonus shooting situation very early on in this period, because some of our points are going to have to come from free throws. The defensive pressure from Yugoslavia is immense, and there's another one, this time against Jeric. That's four on him.
And that's his fourth. That's his fourth, Bob. And that's good because he's one of their dead-eye dicks from the three-point line. We need him out of the game. And, of course, the team fouls. That's the second team fouled on Yugoslavia, and New Zealand haven't fouled yet.
Inbounding the ball, Dylan Boucher. We got 8 minutes and 40 seconds left in this encounter. New Zealand losing by 8 points. Henry controls the ball for New Zealand. A lot of time on the shot clock. We'll tell you as it runs down. Henry into the paint. Pero takes a step into the free throw line, knocks it off the glass. And the foul is going to be on Pero Cameron out of sheer frustration. He chased it inside, and he picks up his second foul, Jeff.
That's okay for 2 fouls on Pero. We've still got 8 minutes to go. Sparky Dicker coming back in to try and up-tempo the offense. And, of course, Phil Jones, who's sitting on 3 fouls, is back into the ball game because we need that outside shooting of Phil and Kirk Penny right now. We've stemmed the tide, though, Bob. No one's scored right now. We've stemmed the tide. That's good.
A box and one, New Zealand. Not another playing man-to-man. It's hard to tell. It's the Yugoslavs are packed in there so tight. Kotorovic gets a good pass inside, turns around and puts it up. He's got 8 points. A tall, unbelievably tall team, and now it's an 10-point lead. Tomasevich comes high and whacks Robert Hickey, and he's pleading his case to the referee. There you see the previous shot by
Yeah.
Kotorovic.
And we were stuck in the zone, and no one picked up the big man that was posted up, and that's why it was such an easy basket in the end.
Tense game, 10 points to lead, but anybody's ball game still. Yugoslavia cannot afford to relax, and the Kiwis have to find a way to claw their way back into the ball game. Penny has been double-teamed ever since the first period. Misses his shot, gets his own rebound, goes to the hoop, puts up a left-hander, it doesn't go down. Good sign there. The Kiwis got 2 shots offensively.
And that's what we need. We need to keep attacking the offensive glass and give ourselves an opportunity to score. It's creeped out to 10 now, Bob.
And there's going to be a call. What's it going to be? We got a foul. It's going to be a defensive foul against Dickel. That's Dickel number 4. Well, New Zealand's shooting percentage has dropped down to 48.7%. Yugoslavia is rising. They're up to 41%. We knew it would climb. They couldn't shoot that poorly for 2 halves in a row, Jeff.
And the other thing is, Bob, the Yugoslavs have 33 rebounds to New Zealand's 19. We're getting absolutely hammered on the offensive rebounding. Yugoslavia have got 14 offensive rebounds to New Zealand's 1.
And Kotorovic is called for holding. He picks up another foul. That's 3 on him. 3 on Gordovic. Ed Book back in the ball game. Ed's on 4 fouls. That's Yugoslavia's 4th team foul, and a steal as Kirk Penny finds himself lost in a forest of Yugoslavian players.
There you go. That's the Yugoslavs game. Getting out on the break quickly. Big guys finishing with easy layups. Tab Baldwin screaming for a timeout. He has got it. And that basket led to the turnover. Kirk Penny, he was manhandled down on the block. And let's see the Yugoslavs. They just got out on the break. The big guy finished it off with the easy left-hand layup. Well, Bob, it's gone out to 12.
Jeff, it's very, very sad. There's one, I'll say the bad news first, it's the good news secondly. We haven't scored for 8 minutes. The last 4 minutes virtually of the third period. And, well, about the first 3 minutes of this period. But in the meantime, Yugoslavia found it a real struggle as well. And instead of blasting us out of the gym, they are slowly gaining the advantage, but still, we're in the ball game and only 12 points down at 70-58.
Yeah, Bob, nothing is lost right now. It's just those runs that Yugoslavia have been able to go on, and we haven't been able to counter. And the reason we haven't been able to counter is because we can't score, and that's been our problem. And the woes have continued from the third quarter. All we need right now is a couple of baskets, even if they're 2-pointers, even if they're easy layups or a couple of jump shots. Doesn't have to be 3. We've got a lot of time on the clock. We don't need to go out there and bomb away from the 3-point line. We just need to get little jump shots, easy layups, maybe go to the line. The Yugoslavs are in foul trouble right now. Anytime they foul now, the Kiwis are on the line to shoot free throws. That's all we need to do. Just chip away at this lead. It's not insurmountable. The Kiwis can still do this.
Well, that's right, Jeff. I suspect the thaw is coming. We've got to thaw out. We've got to warm up shooting-wise. But to give the Yugoslavians their due, they are playing very, very tough defense on us and making it very hard to get the kinds of shots that we got in the first half. This team realized that their World Championship hopes were on the line. They were down at halftime, and man, did they come out a tougher, more intense team to start the second half. New Zealand have not scored now for 7 minutes.
But the other thing, though, is, Bob, that if we can get the Yugoslavs in that slow game, take the air out of their tires, get them unemotional, because right now they're riding on emotional high, because that's how they play. They love that. If we can take the emotion out of the game, take the crowd out of the game, get back into it, claw our way back into it. I'd love to see the Yugoslavs under some mental pressure at the end.
I would love to, too. Tall Blacks bring the ball over halfway. What has Ted Baldwin figured out for them this time? Both are shooters in there now. Phil Jones Kirk Penny, Jones from the top of the key.
And that's what I was talking about, Bob, an easy basket. And that was an easy basket in Phil Jones's terms. Now the Kiwis have gone to a full court press, and this has surprised teams.
10-point lead to Yugoslavia. Vlade Divac in the game going against Ed Book. Bodiroga passed up the easiest of shots, and he took steps. Why would he do that? Who cares? Who gives us the ball?
All we know is the Spanish referee picked it up. And once again, we've got the lead down to 10, Bob. The Kiwis just got to come down, get a nice offensive movement going, and see, we've taken the emotion out. And that's what we needed to do.
Okay, here we go. Cameron still playing high as he has for most of the game. He's been forced to go up there. Kirk Penny in the corner. From the corner, he's got it! He's got three beauty!
And that's what that's 5 points were scored in two plays down the court. The full court pressure once again, and let's see what we can do.
70-63, it's a 7-point lead to Yugoslavia. Are the Tall Blacks on their way back? Underneath it goes. Divac puts up a little hook shot. Around it goes and drops through, and a foul is going to be on Ed Book.
Yeah, and that's Vlade Divac. That's patented Vlade Divac. And look at the shot for Kirk Penny. That's 5 fouls for Ed Book. He's out of the game. Kirk Penny bails it. And here's Vlade Divac. He makes his living in the NBA doing this.
There's the hooter. Ed standing on the line, hoping they'd missed one of those fouls that he committed.
You can't be disappointed, Ed Book. You played a great game, fouled out 10 points, 2 boards. And those points were very early on in the ball game that gave the Kiwis the lead. So good job, Ed Book.
Well, indeed, a good job, but he's disappointed, Jeff. He's come so far. He thinks he was in this ball game. He knows we're in with a chance, and he wants to be there at the end. Not to be. Divac, the old pro, on the line. Vlade Divac, 34 years old. What a career he's had in the NBA.
Now, this is an interesting move by Tab. He's gone with the small lineup. He's got the 2 shooters, Phil Jones and Kirk Penny on either wing. He's got Pero Cameron as an option for the 3, Sparky Dickel, and he's brought in Mr. Hustle, Dylan Boucher. So they've gone with a very, very small team, because Yugoslavia's got a huge team out there right now.
It's always a huge team, Jeff. They are monstrous. 10 points the lead. Dickel makes a move to the hoop, gives it up to Boucher. A lot of mismatches out there if we could just get a move on them, but very, very athletic big men. Phil Jones throws it out. Dickel down bloody nose lane. The shot is blocked. The rebound comes down. It wasn't controlled, so the ball is effectively still in play, and it goes over to Yugoslavia.
Did the ball not touch the rim when Sparky put it up?
No, it was partially blocked. It was still in the air, so it's as though a shot was not taken. I couldn't see anything. Here we go on the replay. Yeah, no, good call by the officials. 10 points the lead, 5 minutes, 9 seconds left in this second semifinal. Who's going to be playing Argentina? Katurovic. Nice pass back from Divac, and he knocks it down.
Oh, that's 2 big men working the basketball there at their fingertips. That was good play, Yugoslavia. The Kiwis going to the triangle offense.
Great understanding between the 2 big men for Yugoslavia. And the lead now back to 12. Dylan Boucher gives it up. Phil Jones off the glass. It doesn't go down, and he's knocked to the floor. He's going to be shooting 2. Well, if we have to do it 1+1 all the way down the road, Jeff, we'll do it.
And that's what I said before, Bob. You know, we don't need 3-point bombs. We just need to chip away at this lead. You know, the Kiwis have still got 4:38 on the clock to go. We're only down 12. Phil Jones nails us. We're still within that magical 10 points. Chip away at the lead. No need to panic right now.
What a game they've played. Magnificent basketball for a full half, and then, like we've seen so often, the wheels came a little bit, began to go a little wobbly in the third period, but they're holding them again. And they're back after this free throw to within 10 points. It's a 10-point lead. Full court pressure now from the Tall Blacks. Energy sapping stuff. Boucher. Divac. Katurovic. Big play.
That was a huge play. Vlade Divac, Yugoslavia, big man, was coming down the baseline, and he finishes with an exclamation mark.
Well, unlike the Chinese who cracked when faced with a tall black press, the Yugoslavs are up to it and eating it up. 7 seconds on the shot clock. New Zealand's got to get up a shot. Phil Jones working man on man. Launches one from way outside. Had to put it up. And that's the story of the ball game.
And there's a story there. Yugoslavia, 34 points to New Zealand, 16 in the paint. The big men have started to dominate.
Well, the small man lineup for New Zealand not working. Anything's worth a risk. So many times Tab has been right. But hey, this Yugoslav team is showing their class.
Yeah, and that was, he was just about falling over, and that just shows what the Yugoslavs are doing. Here's the pass from Vlade Divac for the exclamation mark. Boom.
Oh, that's rugged.
That's a poster. That's certainly a poster, and Big Pero Cameron won't want to be on that poster.
Well, the game's not over yet. Tenzing Baldwin has called another timeout with 3:40 left in the ball game. New Zealand really struggling now to contain the big men on the Yugoslav team. They're down by 14. It's a 79-65 ball game, and it's a 7-13 run against them. But what has Tab got up his sleeve this time? Can we pull it out of the bag? Well, there is time, 3 minutes 40 seconds, but it's going to be a shocker if it's to be.
Yeah, I think what we've got to do is just take our time once again, Bob. We don't need to rush. It's still 3 minutes 40 seconds to go in the ball game. And as you know, in basketball terms, 10 seconds can be stretched out to 3 minutes. So, the Kiwis just got to be patient. I'm sure that's exactly what Tab's telling them. We don't need to rush. We need to look ball fake, take people off the dribble, look for the easy two. Let's not look for the big three-point bomb. We don't need it right now. And then secondly, we've got to get back on defense. Pero Cameron was stuck there with two big men coming at him and got posterized at the end of it. So, we've just got to get back into the transition.
Well, we managed to get as close as 7 points a couple of minutes ago, but then Yugoslavian power just kind of rolled over us for a moment there, and we find ourselves 14 in arrears. 3 minutes and 40 seconds to go, and the place is rocking to some Yugoslavian beat I'm not familiar with.
Yeah. And they sort of seem to be all in time. It really is lovely. And there's the Kiwi fans there. Sean Marks just urging his team on. And there's the Yugoslav fans just at the big drum. They've got everything. They've got all sorts of musical instruments out there, Bob.
Well, they do. A happy, joyous crowd because they've seen their team kind of get out of the hole here. They were down by 11 at the end of the first period. New Zealand played magnificently to lead 30-19. I remember the Kiwis still held a pretty magnificent 9-point lead at halftime, 48-39, but then that dreaded third period came along and we were outscored 27-10. And even though we fought back here in the fourth period, we're still 14 points down now, and we've got to solve the puzzle right now or it's curtains.
Dylan Boucher! UD pulls a three-point bomb out. Well, goodness me, Bob. Who would have thought it?
Well, that was a dare from Yugoslavia. They know Boucher hasn't done anything much offensively tonight. And they said, leave him alone. We'll double team someone else. And Dylan stepped up and knocked down a three. Time ticking away. 5 seconds on the shot clock. That's going to be steps. It is.
Yeah, he walked, and the Spanish referee agrees with us both.
Katurovic.
That's about the
Katurovic takes the steps. That forces a turnover, and New Zealand will bring the ball up down by 11.
And there's Dylan Boucher's big three. UT Dylan. Another basket here, Bob, will make the game very, very interesting.
Phil Jones from the three-point line. Does he have it? Doesn't go down. The ball spiked outside, but Yugoslavia controls it. Bodiroga immediately double-teamed. He's under pressure, and the foul is going to be on Dickel, number 4.
That's a good foul by the Kiwis. They're still not in the penalty. That puts them into the penalty with their fourth team foul. But that was a good foul. Double-team the ball.
Time ticking away. 2 minutes 43. We've got to stop them right now.
We need a good defensive play.
Somebody come out and arrest these guys. Put the handcuffs on them. 2:32, time ticking down. There's 9 seconds on the shot clock. Bodiroga inside. Katorovic knocks it outside. Gudovic inside. Katorovic, he's camping in there. There is no call.
And it's just overpowered Pero Cameron down low there. But he had his tent pitched down there, Bob.
Kirk Penny jumps in. He draws a foul, and he's trying to get the three-point shot.
Three. He's called the three. And Vlade Duvac is doing some sort of dance. Here we go. That's the basket down low.
Well, that's just big power basketball underneath from Yugoslavia.
Here we go with Kirk Penny. He steps in. No, he was behind the line. His feet were in the air, Bob. Miyataki called it.
The eye is quicker than the crowd in that case. Miyataki got it right. Kirk Penny makes the first. We've got 2 more to come. 81-69. We can get back to within 10 here. He's got it. What a magnificent player Kirk Penny has been all tournament long.
And we're looking at maybe our second player in NBA to possibly get into the NBA. There's a lot of raps on Kirk Penny here in the US.
He knocks down all 3, and it's a 10-point lead, 81-71. Miracles can happen. A foul goes against Boucher.
But that's okay. That's the 15th foul, so
that's 4
not
on
shooting.
Dylan Boucher.
Yeah, no, they are shooting.
Well, now it's a foul shooting contest. Yugoslavia really have to make these free throws, or they give up the ball without scoring, and it gives a chance for us to cut into the lead a little bit more, Jeff. Yes. Don't go away. The Kiwis are magnificent.
No doubts about that, Bob. The Kiwis haven't let themselves down here. It's that dreaded third quarter that we keep talking about that has affected us.
They've got to be the pluckiest team here. True grit.
Bodiroga makes the first one.
2 minutes, 7 seconds remaining. Theoretically, there's still time, but man, is it a long way back. And Yugoslavia were up to that one and made both free throws. They're a very, very good free throw shooting team. They shoot as a team 78% from the corner.
Kirk Penny for 3
from heaven.
And the Yugoslavs want a timeout. They want to take the air out of the balloon of the Kiwis. The Kiwis, they're back within 9. Still with 2 minutes on the clock, 1:54. Here it is, Kirk Penny deep in the corner. Played around with it with his man. Nothing but boom. Bottom of the net stuff.
Jeff, if we could only throw away that third quarter, go back and play that one again.
Someone's got to change the rules.
27 to 10, yeah.
Someone's got to change the rules, Bob. Here we go. Let's see if we can hear what Tab's talking about. Tab Baldwin, Bob, is saying exactly what I said. We don't need the three-point bomb. We can still win this game by chipping away, whether it be from the free throw line, whether it be an easy two-point jump shot, but we don't necessarily need to force the big three-point bomb right now.
Yugoslavia, they want this ball game, and they know that it's not in their midst just yet. Levox has come back onto the floor. The old NBA veteran, and he is animated. I've never seen him so animated. He's talking to his players. He does not want to lose this game at this stage. This is for entrance into the finals. Playoff. Katorovic, they break the fast break and slice New Zealand up. 85-74, 11 points to lead. Harold Cameron with a three. Doesn't go down. Number 10, Jaric gets the rebound. He takes it down Bloody Nose Lane. It's got to be a charge. Oh, no.
Miyataki from Japan. What were you looking at, son? That's 5 fouls for Dylan Boucher. He's out of the game. Let's look at this again. Dylan Boucher sets himself. Oh, no, that was a good call. I take it back, Mr. Honourable Miyataki. That was definitely a foul. Dylan Boucher got pushed.
You got to forgive us. We're just so keen for New Zealand to win this game, as is every Kiwi, of course. Oh, it just hurts, but what a great job they've done. 87-74. The intensity, the pressure from this mountainous Yugoslavian team is
Who does Tab Baldwin bring in? Oh, Damon Rampton. Damon Rampton has seen no action, and he's brought Damon in with 1:29, the game on the line, down 13. This is a huge call, Tab Baldwin.
Pero Cameron rallying the troops once again and leaving Kotorovic standing on the free throw line to shoot, just making him cool off a bit. He's got 18 points. He's the leading scorer for Yugoslavia. What a great game he's played. It's far above his average. He misses the shot, so he only got the 2-pointer on the drive. Pero Cameron, who else made the rebound? Pero fakes it, kicks it out. Jones trying to get free, knocks it out. Kirk Penny doesn't go down, but Jones inside gets another shot at it. And Yugoslavia come away with the ball with 1:08 left to play. Behind the back dribble, the Yugoslavs looking pretty comfortable now. Bodiroga double teamed outside.
The Kiwis have done us proud, Bob. Like, this is a 13-point ball game right now.
Absolutely.
Now's the time for 3-point bombs.
Jeric takes steps, going to be traveling.
Now's the time for 3-point bombs. I see we're down 13, 50 seconds on the clock.
Long-range missiles needed now. Jeric, there you see on the spin before the ball goes up, took the steps. Phil Jones. And they're going to call a foul. It's a holding foul on number 15. That's Gurovic. And he rides the pine now the rest of the way. Sorry, that's Kotorovic. New player,
I
number
can't believe
6.
this, Bob. That okay, Divac is coming out of the game, but Stojakovic hasn't played in the last few minutes, which is very unusual.
Indeed. Chavakapa replaces Zarko Kavachaka, replaces Kotorovic. On the line to shoot a couple of free throws. Phil Jones, 45.5 seconds to play. 12 points to lead. Stay within 10. It's a victory of sorts. 11 points.
The Kiwis are still picking up full court pressure.
Never say die. Jeric backing in against Phil Jones. Sparky comes over to help out, and the foul is going to be tagged against Phil Jones. Jeric has to shoot a couple of honest free throws here in the waning stages of the game. 4 fouls on Phil Jones.
On Sparky Dickel.
Well, the referee pointed to Phil Jones.
You don't need to hold your head, Sparky. You've done a great job for your country. You've kept us on an emotional roller coaster ride.
Well, in a minute or two, we'll put this game in context. Because tomorrow, it looks like New Zealand is going to be playing Germany for the bronze medal. And that'll be coming to you at 5:30 a.m. Paul Hinare into the game. Kirk Penny goes straight to the hoop. Lovely little drive from him. Slashes to the basket. This 11-point lead with 24.5 seconds to go. Yugoslavia just have to control the ball for a couple of possessions and it'll be all over, and they'll be going against Argentina tomorrow. Haven't the Kiwis played magnificently? They're just running out time now. There's 9 seconds. 7 seconds.
The Kiwis have done a splendid job, Bob. They will play off for the bronze medal, though. There's no shame in a bronze medal whatsoever at a World Basketball Championships. Tad Baldwin and the Kiwi team, you can hold your head high. You've done us proud. You've done the country proud.
Magnificent game. Yugoslavia comes back from trailing the entire first half, where they upped the defensive intensity and got their offense going as well. And they outscore the Kiwis in the second half, and they win 89-78, and they're deserved winners going into the final tomorrow against Argentina. But Jeff, let's just talk about the Kiwis for a moment. They're not out of the tournament at all. This is as far as most teams would ever dream of coming. And tomorrow they go against Germany in the bronze medal contest.
And that's going to be absolutely huge. So New Zealand, be with us at 5:30 tomorrow morning.
That's great. Once again, we'll see you tomorrow. The final score, Yugoslavia 89, the Tall Blacks 78.
Well, what a game we've had this morning. The Tall Blacks riding high in the first half, leading by 9 at the break, you may remember, and playing so well that you could well believe that the dream run would include a place in the final. But the third quarter, and we've seen this a number of times in these championships, was the downfall, and this time no brilliant run to save the match in the final quarter. The New Zealanders go forward to the playoff for third and fourth. It's live tomorrow morning our time, tip-off at 5:30 against Germany. Well, Chris Tupu, Tracy Carpenter, that third quarter again.
Yeah, Yugoslavia just stepped it up a little bit there, and you know, their defence was pretty outstanding, and the New Zealanders just had a little bit of trouble trying to get into the offence, and we went scoreless for quite a long period there. But you know, I heard the commentators say magnificent. Tab wanted another word to describe how the team has really gone over the tournament. They can be definitely proud, and you know, I'll look forward to the playoff for the bronze medal tomorrow.
Tracy Carpenter?
Exactly. Yugoslavia really stepped up their defense. They really played with incredible urgency in the second half, and New Zealand should be very proud. These guys played their hearts out and have absolutely nothing to be ashamed of.
Well, that's for sure. And in our commentary position now, Kirk Penny has come across to sit in. We have him live from Indianapolis. Kirk, thanks very much for coming over. We appreciate your time, and obviously you're very tired. Congratulations on the tournament run. Obviously it's not all over yet, but can you put your finger on what happened in that third quarter?
Yeah, they just stepped it up. They really did, and we didn't execute the way we wanted to in the third quarter, and it was a big turnaround from halftime, having the lead and then being down to start the fourth quarter. That's really where they raised their level, and you know, obviously it showed by the scoreboard.
Kirk, on a personal level, you looked very sharp today. We thought, watching from back here, it looked as though you were right on top of your game.
Yeah, I think a few of us, you know, just in that third quarter, wished that was the quarter where we would really, you know, stepped it up. In the first half, things were great. They really were. We're executing unbelievably. 2 turnovers in the first quarter. It was some good basketball, but I guess we're going to have to get this one behind us now and just focus on the bronze medal game, because that's a huge game for us, trying to get third in the world. So it's definitely not over, but from where we were at halftime, it is a little disappointing for us.
Kirk, do you and the team have any feeling yet for what it is you've actually achieved? I guess, I mean, you're so close to it at the moment that it must be hard to put it into some sort of perspective. It's easy for us to see how well you've done, the great things that you've achieved. Is that the feeling within the team, or are you so busy concentrating on the next game?
Yeah, we are very much just concentrating and keeping our focus on what's at hand. But I mean, I'll tell you right now, when we walk away from this tournament, we've
Looks as though we've lost our connection to Indianapolis there at the moment. We'll try to get Kirk Penny back. But Tracy Carpenter talking with Kirk Penny there about putting it into perspective. And really, it's easy to see it from here. A bit tougher for them to see it because they are doing it game by game, but easy for us to put it into perspective.
Very easy. The Kiwis played brilliantly today. Just that first half was perfect basketball. I don't think that they could have played better. Great game plan, great coaching, great mental preparation from the players, and they played well against a great opponent.
Chris, put it into perspective for us in terms of New Zealand sport and in terms of New Zealand's position in the world sport.
Well, I have to take a bit of a sigh. It's absolutely just, probably it's the biggest achievement for New Zealand basketball, and I think now we just have to make sure that we continue to build. We've got the Olympics in 2 years. you know, we've definitely made the world stand up and take note of our Tall Black team. And I think New Zealand, as a country, has gotten behind this team. We hear it, we see it in the papers. And, you know, this is going to go down in history as probably a great sporting moment for New Zealand history.
Well, fantastic. Thanks for your company this morning, guys. Pity about the result, but what a run we've had, and thanks for your thoughts and your time.
Thank you.
Chris Tupu and Tracy Carpenter. So there we have it. Now, just before we go, I can tell you the program Inside Out, which was to have played this morning, will now be rescheduled to a later date. We will see the Tall Blacks again tomorrow morning in the playoff for 3rd and 4th against Germany. Join us from 5:20 tomorrow morning. Tip-off is at 5:30. Then it's the final, Argentina playing Yugoslavia, live with One Sport. There is still a chance of the Tall Blacks coming away with a medal at these championships. Well, thanks for being with us. A chance to see semi-final highlights at 1 o'clock this afternoon with One Sport. Good morning to you.